Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is a video to do day 95, which is going to be explicit and recursive sequences practice. So I'm not really going to be teaching you anything new. This is really going to be more just review of how to come up with arithmetic and geometric, explicit, and recursive. So not too bad. And then it starts and talks a little bit about some word problems. And that's a lot we're going to be doing tomorrow is going to be all word problems. Don't freak out. I know what you're thinking. It's not LES and C, so don't worry. So they're not that bad. But all right, so here we go. We're going to start with this worksheet, and I'm only going to do 4 of them or 5 of them on the front. So all right, here we go. So it says for each sequence, pattern, table, or story below, identify where it's arithmetic or geometric, find the common difference, common ratio, and explicit and recursive. So I've got a little bit of everything. I think this is a really good worksheet, even though it's not really a lot of room to write, sorry, because it's really going to set us up and get us ready for tomorrow, which is the really most important part. All right, so let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40. So definitely you can see that these numbers keep going up by 10. And because they keep increasing by 10, we know, or hopefully we know, that that's going to be arithmetic. So I know to get my explicit and recursive, I need some a sub 1 and my common difference. So a sub 1 is always the first number in the list, so that's 10. And the common difference is also 10. So explicit, sorry about these tiny boxes. So you don't have to memorize this, but most of you probably already have it memorized. So that says, let me zoom in so you guys can actually see what I'm writing because it's so tiny. A sub n equals 10 plus n minus 1 times 10. A sub n equals 10 plus 10n minus 10 because I'm just going to distribute. And then I have a positive 10, negative 10, cancel each other out. So that's 10n. A sub n equals 10n. Recursive, a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus d. And then we have the a. Remember, when you're doing explicit and recursive, that means you're not figuring out a specific number. These stay as plain old n's, okay? Don't ever fill them in. Plus 10, so it's almost done. Just make sure you have this where a sub 1 equals 10. All right, and given term a sub 32, I'm going to use this one because this one is a lot smaller. So a sub 32 equals 10 times 32, and a sub 32 is 320. Okay, next question. All right, number 4, zoom out just a smidge. 72, 48, 32. So those numbers definitely are a little bit farther apart. And it's going to be, let's see what it is. So 48 divided by 72, I kind of know it's geometric. So I'm going to do the opposite, which is dividing. I get 0.6 repeating, which I know is 2/3. Okay, so that's going to be geometric. And I need a sub 1 in my common ratio. A sub 1 is 72, and my common ratio is 2/3. All right, explicit, here we go. A sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. And a sub 1 was 72, and my ratio was 2/3, n minus 1, and then that is it. Don't have to do anything else when you have your explicit. Okay, recursive starts same way as this one. A sub n minus 1, but instead of plus d, it is times r. So a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 times my ratio of 2/3. And don't forget the most important part. You want to write where a sub 1 equals 72. Okay, so let's figure out a sub 5. So I'm going to use this formula. A sub n equals 72 times 2/3 to the n minus 1. And when you want to plug in, n is 5. So a sub 5 equals 72 times 2/3 to the 5 minus 1. So you want to do your exponents first. So 72 times 2/3 to the 4th. And that's a sub 5 equals 72 times, let's see, what is 2/3 to the 4th power? So let's see, alpha y equals, we're going to have 2/3 to the 4th power, that's 16 over 81. So we have a sub 5 equals 72 times 16 over 81. And then we're going to do 16 over 81 times 72. And we want to change it to mixed. So alpha y equals, and that's going to give us a sub 5 equals 14 and 2/9. All right, so basically between those two questions, this is a really good review of the past 3 days. So it's got everything from your explicit, recursive, it goes to everything I've taught in the last 3 days. So that's actually really good. All right, so now we're going to start our word problems, and this is what the Regents loves. You know, the Regents is all about the word problems. So here we go. All right, Cameron is collecting bugs for science class. The first day, his sister helps him, and he finds 35 bugs. So that's going to be really, really important moving on, that whole first. That's really important. Day 2 is 52. Day 3 has 69. Okay, so we have 35, then we have 52, and 69. Okay, so from 35 to 52 is plus 17. 52 to 69 is plus 17. So as the numbers keep going up, adding, this we know it's going to be arithmetic. A sub 1, okay, so you have your list. So even though it wasn't a list given and I made a list on the side, you will notice it does say first. So moving on, anytime it says first, that's how we know it's going to be a sub 1. So a sub 1 is 35. Our difference is 17. All right, so now let's do our formulas. So a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub n equals 35 plus n minus 1 times my difference of 17. A sub n equals 35 plus 17n minus 17, and combine those constants to get 17n plus 18. Okay, and that should make sense because you have your difference, which is the same thing as your slope. And this is your a sub 0. So if we went back 1 by subtracting 17, you would have gotten 18. All right, recursive. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus d. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 17. And don't forget, most important, when a sub 1 equals 35. All right, and now a sub 5. Let's use the recursive. A sub n equals 17n plus 18. A sub 5, a sub 5 equals 17 times 5 plus 18. A sub 5 equals 85 plus 18. And a sub 5 equals 103. Okay, so this one is done. And, oh, I forgot over here, sorry, to write the ratio times 2/3 times 2/3. Right along. All right, so 7 and 8, I wanted to do these ones because of, this is really going to bring me back to day 1 of what I taught you guys, okay? If you look at what's graphed, think back to the first video I ever taught you, the first video I showed that you guys watched on the Learn Zillion for me. What type did I say was linear? Okay, what type did I say represented linear? And that was arithmetic. So without even seeing any numbers at all, you should know that that one's arithmetic. And I know I'm kind of going ahead a little bit, but here is your exponential. And then which one was exponential? Well, exponential was geometric. Geometric. Okay. Anyway, going back to number 7. So it's really hard to see, but these actually go up by 3 over 1. And then up 1, 2, 3 over 1. And I'll make the list for you right here on the side. So you can see the coordinates. So it's 0, -5, 1, -2, 2, 1, and 3, 4. So you're going to see that these numbers do indeed all increase by the same thing. So your common difference is 3. So again, if you could read this, which is, sorry, it's really hard to see, but you'd have a slope of 3, and your y-intercept is down here, and that's -5. But again, you can also see from the table that you have a constant ratio on the first try, and that is linear. So speaking of linear, if this was the graphing unit, your m is 3, your b is -5, you would have known that this would have been your equation of a line. Okay, so it's all related. So a sub 1 and d. Now the d is the same exact thing as the slope. Okay, so up 3 over 1 are this common difference. And a sub 1, okay, so it's easy to see when it's in the chart. What is the y value when x is 1, and that's -2? Or what is the y value when x is -1? Or excuse me, when x is 1. When x is 1, it is going to be right here, -2. It's so hard to see. Sorry about that. All right, explicit. So now we have the information. Now we can do the work. So a sub n, a sub 1 is -2. Again, when x is 1, what's the y value? When x is 1, what was our y value? Plus n minus 1, our common difference or our slope was 3. distribute plus 3n minus 3, and a sub n, I'm going to combine a -2 and a -3, and I get 3n minus 5. Now look, see? I've been telling you this entire time that slope is the same exact thing as d, okay? This is the d or the m, the common difference or your slope. And then your y-intercept is the same exact thing as that number over here. So your y-intercept is the same thing as your a sub 0. So that's where you could really see what it is. And then over here even, you could see that your 0, right? Your 0 is -5, and that is your a sub 0. So this is the best one to show you how sequences are really related to linear. Or I should say arithmetic sequences are really related to what you guys know from your linear and graphing unit. All right, so let me keep going. So n minus 1, so a sub n minus 1, and this is plus 3. And we cannot forget this because this is the part that I know I always forget, so don't forget this on your test when you get it tomorrow. Okay, so a sub n equals 3n minus 5. Here n is 15. Oh, I didn't write this. Here n is 5, n is 5, and n is 32. So n is 15. A sub 15 equals, oh, I just realized I was looking back over here. I apologize on number 5. You guys probably caught it already. That should be a sub 5. I apologize. All right, a sub 15. So 3 times 15 minus 5. 3 times 15 is 45. And then you do 45 minus 5, and you will get 40. All right, and our last one, so we already know this is geometric, and sometimes it is easier to see what that common ratio is, because if I give you the coordinates, because it's a bad graph. So 0 goes with 1, 1 is 3, and then 2, 9. So that's this dot, and this dot up here. Remember, it only goes in the third and fourth quadrant. You learned about this, and it kind of keeps going closer and closer to 0. Okay, so a sub 1. So where is the graph? X is 1. What's the y value? That's 3. Okay, common ratio. So what do you keep multiplying by? Well, these numbers are tripling, so that means our ratio has to be 3. And let's just make sure this was right. This should be 3 to the x, I believe. Or is it 3 to the x minus 1? Let's see. 3 to the x. 0, 1, 1, 3, 2, 9. So this would have been y equals 3 to the x if we were doing the exponential units. Okay, so we have a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. A sub 1 we know is 3. 3 to the n minus 1. Now here's that concept that keeps coming up. The Regents loves this, where they have those common bases. Remember, this is really 1. So you're going to add 1 and n minus 1. I'm going to add 1 and n minus 1. And I'm going to simplify 1 minus 1 is 0, so 3 to the n. Always try to simplify it, because any multiple choice answer, that's what the Regents are going to have. And by the way, look, they match. Okay, n minus 1 times r. A sub n equals n minus 1 times what's my common ratio? 3. And don't forget the where. You have to tell me what a sub 1 is. You have to tell me where to start with recursive. Okay, so let's do this one. I don't have to keep going back. So a to the 7th, a sub 7 equals 3 to the 7th, and a sub 7, 3, I have no idea what that is. 3 caret 7, 2187, big number. All right, that was the front. Hopefully it wasn't too bad for you guys. Again, just some review. I think it's really good to do a review for this unit. A museum usually has 4 million visitors. Wow. They made some changes to increase visitors. The table shows the projected annual visitors to museums in millions after the changes. What's the projected number of visitors in 7 years? Okay, so by them, by the way, it's all word problems on the back. By them asking you this, they are asking you what a sub 7 is. So what I need you to know, and this can happen today and tomorrow when we do word problems, anytime I want you to figure out any specific term, you have to get the formula first. So must get formulas first, and that's going to be for 9 through 12, okay? And again for tomorrow too. So we have to first decide if it's arithmetic or geometric, and then we're going to get our a sub 1 and our common ratio or All right, so 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is definitely not 9, so we know it's going to be geometric. So I'm going to take the second number divided by the first, and that'll give me my ratio of 1.5, or 3/2. Okay, so let's see. I know I'm working with geometric. I know my a sub 1, right? 1. Here's my 1. So I assume a sub 1 is 6, and my common ratio is 3/2, or 1.5, whatever you're more comfortable with, okay? So again, you have to get the formula first. And I'm always going to work with explicit, and I'm going to tell you tomorrow that I always want you to do explicit first. So a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. So a sub 1 is 6, r is 3/2, or 1.5, whatever you're comfortable with, and that is it. Now to get the actual answer, we're going to use our formula from before, okay? So to get the formula, the n's stay, but to get the value, now the n becomes a number. 7 minus 1, and then I don't think I put the front in parentheses on one of those, but it's too tiny for me to even see. Yeah, forgot. Sorry. All right, so 3/2 to the 6, and a sub 7, let's see, 3/2. Oh, let me do it the right way. Alpha y equals 3/2, and we're going to go to the 6th power, and that is 6 times 729 over 64. So I'm going to do times 6, and I want to change this. Alpha y equals, number 3, change it to improper to mixed. What do we got? 68 and 11 over 32. So this is definitely a unit you want to have your calculator. All right, that one wasn't horrible. Okay, number 10. A theater has 20 seats in the first row. Okay, look, there's that key word. First is now going to tell us that a sub 1 is 20. Okay, kind of get used to that. So we have 20 in the first row, 22 in the second, 24. All right, do you guys see the pattern? 22. That's going to be keep going up by 2. So this is definitely arithmetic. And arithmetic, we need to know a sub 1, which we have, and our common difference we just figured out was 2. Okay, so we did 22 in the second, 24, and so on for 25 rows. How many in the 13th row and 25th row? So 13th row is asking for a sub 13. 25th row is a sub 25. So again, what is my deal? What is my rule? You have to get the formula first before you can get any kind of term at all. All right, so formula, a sub n, and we're working with arithmetic. So this is a sub 1. Notice again, they both start with a sub 1. But this is going to be plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so general, a sub 1 is 20. So you're just plugging in the 20, and you're plugging in the common difference, and then you're going to distribute and combine. Okay, same thing that you learned the other day. So 20 minus 2 is 18, and I'm trying to be consistent. So it looks kind of like slope and y-intercept. All right, so now that we have the general, now we can figure out for the 13th row, and then we can figure out for the 25th row. Okay, again, I'm going to copy my formula that I just used, okay, that I just figured out. I'm going to copy that formula. I'm just going to plug in. So a sub 13 equals 2 times 13 plus 18. 2 times 13 is 26. 26 plus 18 is 44. So this would be 44 seats. I think this one might be on your take-home test too. I remember something with a theater question. So a sub 25 equals 2 times 25. Okay, so 2 times 25 is 50. 50 plus 18 is 68. So this would be 68 seats. So again, regular first, basic formula, then plug in. All right, number 11, a culture of bacteria doubles. Okay, you should remember this word from our functions units when we did our geometric like these ones over here. Our exponential functions, remember those ones? So you should remember this word. So because it's exponential, it's doubling, tripling, anything like that's exponential. This is obviously right away we know going to be geometric. So I'm looking for an a sub 1, and I'm looking for a common ratio. So a culture of bacteria doubles every hour. So doubles, well, there we go. You already know R is 2. If there are, remember over here in the front, these numbers tripled, so that's why R was 3. Now they double, so it's 2. If there are 500 bacteria at the beginning, how many bacteria will there be after 20 after 24 hours. Okay, so what happens here is something that hasn't happened yet, and it's kind of going to be a new vocabulary word for us moving forward. It's this at the beginning. So at the beginning, you now have to know that this is really a sub 0. Okay, so beginning, it doesn't say first, doesn't say first time, anything like that, first one. That's what's going to be a sub 1. So since this is beginning, beginning has to be a sub 0. So I know that a sub 0 is 500, but I don't need a sub 0 in my formula, but that is okay. They're going to make it easier enough for you to figure out. So if it starts at 500 and then it's going to double, well, what would be a sub 1? If I double, it's going to be 1,000, right? So you just did 500 times 2. So anytime they say beginning is a sub 0, but they're going to make it easy enough for you to figure it out. Don't worry. All right, so we want to figure out what it'll be after 24 hours. So again, have to get this general first. Don't plug into any other thing unless you do the general first. So a sub 1 is 1,000. And our ratio is 2 to the n minus 1. So now we're going to use this to figure out when n is 24. So a sub m equals 1,000 times 2 to the n minus 1. And don't make that mistake. I always do. Be careful. A sub 24 equals 1,000 times 2 to the 24 minus 1. Okay, so what is that? That's 1,000 times 2 to the 23rd. A sub 24 is 1,000 times, oh boy, it's going to be a big number. 2 to the 23rd, 8388608. So what do we got? 8,388,608 times another 1,000. Oh boy. Times 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay. No room. Put it over here. Equals 8. Oh boy. 388,608,23. Oh boy. Is that trillion? 8,388,600,000,000. No, so that's million. Okay, so 8 billion. Excuse me, 8,388,608,000. I think that's right. Oh boy, it's a big number. All right, and last one, number 12. All right, that's right, right? Billions, millions, thousands. Yes, good. Okay. You visit the Grand Canyon and drop a penny off the edge of a cliff. I've never been there. One of you guys have been there. The distance the penny will fall is 16 feet for the first second. All right, so look, that goes back to normal. Okay, tells you first. So we automatically know a sub 1 is 16, okay? Then 48 for the next, 80 for the third, and so on. What will the distance be if it falls after? What is the total distance the object will fall after 6 seconds? Okay, so what do we have? We have 16, 48, and 80. So those numbers definitely are pretty wide. Let's just see. Is that going to be 48 divided by 16 is 3. So 48 times 3 is definitely not 80. So wow, so this is arithmetic. So let's see, 48 minus 16. So that means that the difference is going to be 32. Okay, this is we said is going to be arithmetic because geometric doesn't work. That's okay. If you try one, it doesn't work. Just try the other type. So that means 48 plus 32 should be 80. Yes, we're good. All right, so arithmetic. A sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Again, you have to get your general first. Okay, I don't care what any other teacher says. Got to do your general first with me. Plus 32n. And then we've got a minus 32. And a 62 and a negative 32. Oops, sorry, this is a 32n. 32n minus 16. Okay, so now we have the general. Now we're going to go ahead and do our 6 seconds. So a sub n equals 32n minus 16. A sub 6 equals 32 times 6. 32 times 6 is 192. 192 minus 16 should give us a sub 6 is 176. All right, so that is that page. So this page is actually done. So your classwork is actually done. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just kind of explain which ones you have to do on your homework. And then I'm actually going to do a couple of the homework questions for you already. So This will help you with your homework. All right, so question number homework number 95. Again, make sure you put this on Google Classroom so you get credit for it. You are only doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 11 from this top section, okay? And I'll put it on the homework too. I'll circle the ones that that you're supposed to do, and I'll put it on the website. And for this one, you're just figuring out if it is arithmetic, geometric, or neither. Remember, arithmetic, it was that common difference. And then geometric is what is that common ratio. And then once you figure out what it is, if it's geometric or arithmetic, put the common ratio or put the common difference. And you will have a couple of neither. So there's going to be a couple that do not work out. All right, so I'm not going to do any of those with you because I think those are easy enough. Next section. Okay, so for this one, you're going to do 13 and 15 for me because I kind of wanted to cross these ones out so we can just kind of go across. All right, so for this, I'm actually going to do 13 for you right now, and then you will finish up 15 for homework. Again, 14 and 16, anything crossed out you don't have to do. So given the first term, so a sub 1, and the common difference, find the first 5 terms and the explicit and the recursive, okay? So I know it's a lot, so again, I wanted to kind of help you out. All right, so let's do explicit first. So explicit. And this is what? Is this arithmetic or geometric? Well, I have a common difference, so I know that this is going to be arithmetic, okay? I know this is a common difference, so it's going to be arithmetic. So a sub n, and this is similar to what we just did on our classwork, which is, again, is just more review. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub n, what is my a sub 1? That's 28 plus n minus 1 times d. So that's 28 plus 10 times n is 10n minus 10, and that's 10n. 28 minus 10 is 18. All right, so explicit is done. Now recursive. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus d. A sub n minus 1 plus 10, where a sub 1 is 28. Okay, so now we're going to do, what do I need? The first 5. So I already have the first one. So n equals 2. Just keep writing it. N equals 3, n equals 4, and n equals 5. So feel free to use all the space down here to do the next one. So for n equals 2, a sub n equals 10n plus 18. A sub 2 equals 10 times 2 plus 18. A sub 2 equals 20 plus 18. And that is 38, right? That makes sense. The first number is 28, add on 10, and you get 38. So 10n plus 18, a sub 3 equals 10 times 3 plus 18, and that's 30 plus 18, so that's 48. A sub n equals 10n plus 18. Again, you have to have the original first, and I'm going to go back to the explicit just because I think it is easier. If you'd wanted to use the recursive for all of these, this actually would have worked. Oh, actually, that probably would have been a lot quicker. That's okay. I just realized that. That would have been quicker because you could do a sub 2 because you have a sub 1. Oh, well. 40 plus 10, well, it's 18. And that would have been 58. And 10n plus 18, a sub 5, 10 times 5 plus 18, that's 50 plus 18, and that's going to give me 68. So again, you could have done, I'll just show you one of them, you could have done this one, a sub n minus 1 plus d, so a sub 2 would have been 2 minus 1 plus 10, which is a sub 1 plus 10, which is 28 plus 10, which is 38. So actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Oh, I actually picked the one that was less work. Yay. Okay, so 13 is done for you. So you go ahead and do 15. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So far, you have 7 questions for homework. Okay, on the back, so you have to do 17 and 19, and I'm going to do number 17 for you, so you have less work. So given the first term and the common ratio of a geometric sequence, so I'm going to do this with you. Oh, I just realized this said arithmetic too. So you know the common difference means arithmetic, but it already said that for you. Again, find the first 5, explicit and recursive. So I'm going to do some of your homework for you right now. And again, we know ratio, so it's geometric. So let's start with explicit. A sub m equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. So a sub 1 is negative 4 times 6 to the n minus 1. And that is it. Now let's do our recursive. I wonder if I should have labeled these for you guys. Maybe I should have labeled it. Explicit, recursive. This is your explicit. And now let's do your recursive. So a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 times r. And this is a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 times 6. And don't forget to tell me where a sub 1 is -4. That's important. Okay, so let's do n equals 2, n equals 3, n equals 4, and n equals 5. And we'll go right over to the other section. Not a big deal. Okay, a sub n equals -4 times 6 to the n minus 1. So a sub 2 equals -4 times 6 to the 2 minus 1. A sub 2 equals -4 times 6 to the first power. -6, or 6 to the first power, 6. 6 times -20, 6 times -4 is -24. Okay, so a sub n equals -4 times 6 to the n minus 1. A sub 3 equals -4 times 6 to the 3 minus 1. That's -4 times 6 squared. Okay, 6 squared, I believe, is 36. And 36 times -4 is -144. So a sub 3 is -144. Okay, a sub n equals -4 times 6 to the n minus 1. So a sub 4 is -4 times 6 to the 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 6 to the third power, 6 caret 3, is 216. Oh, I should have known that. Times -4. A sub 4 is -864. Okay, last one over here. A sub n equals -4 times 6 to the n minus 1. A sub 5, 5 minus 1, and 6 to the 4, which is -4. 6 caret 4, 1296, times -4 is 5, -5184, -5,184. All right, so that's 17. You do 19. Again, you could skip 18 and 20. Hopefully me doing this is really helping you guys out. All right, and then the last section, so you have to do all of these. 21, 22, 23, and 24. But I would like to do 21 and 23 for you, so you'll have 22 and 24. So not too much homework. All right, given the recursive and the first term, find the following: the common difference or ratio and the first 4 terms and the explicit. So again, hopefully you notice that every single thing we did today, both the worksheet and the homework, everything is review. So nothing new. Nothing new at all. Okay, so I already know this is geometric. Okay, the reason I know this is geometric is I have my multiplication sign, so I know that this is going to be a ratio. So I already figured that out. Again, I'm given the recursive, so now I have to figure out the explicit and then the first 4. So, oh boy, there's not a lot of room on here. So explicit, here we go. A sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1, and that's going to be a sub 1 is 2. My ratio is also 2. Oh, look at that. This always happens. They love to do this. Okay, common base. Add those exponents. So 1 plus n minus 1. And that is, zoom in so you can see, 2 to the n. All right, do I have enough room? We're going to try. So explicit, I want to know the first 4 terms. Oh, this is not bad. I already have the first term. So I need n sub 2. N sub 3, I mean not sub, and when n is 4. Okay, so I have the first one already. So a sub n equals 2 to the n, a sub 2 equals 2 squared, and a sub 2 squared is 4. Okay, so a sub n equals 2 to the n, a sub 3 equals 2 to the third power, and 2 to the third power is 8. And this makes sense, right? If you have a number, first number is 2, and the ratio is 2, it means each time it's doubling. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. I already know the next answer is 16. So a sub n equals 2 to the n, a sub 4 equals 2 to the 4th, and that is 16. All right, so I'll do one more for you, and then you will finish up these ones right here, okay? So for 23, this one I was multiplying. Here I am subtracting. Remember, it's the same thing as adding a negative, so I know this one is going to be arithmetic, okay? And I know my common difference is that right there of -6. So arithmetic, here we go. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub 1 is -3. Plus n minus 1, my common difference is -6. Be careful, 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 careful. You need to have this in parentheses or it's going to look like it's subtracting, and that is not good. Not good. -3, so -6 times n is -6n. -1 times -6 is a +6. And let's see, that gives me -6n. 6 minus 3 is 3. So there's my explicit. So again, notice the slope, this number right here, the coefficient is matching right there. And then this would be a sub 0. Okay, so let's see, does that work? Yeah, because this would be -3. You would add 6 on instead of subtracting. And here we go. Good. All right, so we have a sub 1. I need 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here we go. It's going to be a little bit tighter this time. So -6n plus 3. So a sub 2 equals -6 times 2 plus 3. Let's see, that should be -12 plus 3. And I believe that's -9, all right, because -3 minus 6 is -9. That's good. And then a sub m equals -6n plus 3. So a sub 3 equals -6 times 3. And that's going to be -18 plus 3, which is -15. All right, and n equals 4. So -6n plus 3. Sorry, this is so really hard to see. -6 times 4 is -24. -24 should be -21. Good. Okay, so now you're going to finish these two up. Okay, notice here that you have the plus, so that should tell you which one of the two it is. And here, don't let this mess you up. This is saying -3 times a sub n minus 1, which is saying the thing is a sub n minus 1 times -3. So that multiplication sign should tell you which type it is. All right, so hopefully that helped. I know the video went a little bit longer because I worked on your homework, but hopefully this helped you guys. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not too bad. All right, so I'll have another video for the homework to finish up the other ones that I didn't get to show you. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If not, just post your homework when you are done with it. Obviously, you are almost already done because you should have had everything copied that I did for you. So again, anything circled has to be done. All right, have a great day, and tomorrow is all word problems. Yay! Okay.